Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to cut an off-shoulder bustier with a Basque waistline. So if this is something you want to learn how to make, please like, comment, subscribe, and let's get started. Welcome guys. So I start by labeling the line that I've drawn here. So the first line over there is my shoulder line, the armhole line, the bust line, the under bust line, and the waistline. So the half inch at the upper part and the lower part serve as my shoulder joining allowance and the waist joining allowance. So now just go ahead and cut my armhole. For you to understand properly, this is the reason why I'm drafting this full half scale measurement. Some people don't draft this full half scale, they just go ahead and do the off shoulder. But for you to understand better, you can draft the full half scale pattern. So now I'm just doing the armhole for my half scale, just the normal way we do the armhole for half scale. That is what I'm doing now. Then I'm taking the measurement of the line I measure. So from that shoulder line to that area is my waist measurement, which is 16. That's my armhole, which is 1.5 inch above my bust line, and my under bust and every other line. So those half inch are the joining allowance. So on the bust line, I will go down by 3/4 inches or half inches depending on how busty you are. If you are very busty, you go down by 1 inch, but if you're not that busty, you can use half to 3/4 inches. So then I divide my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. My nipple to nipple measurement, it is 7. So 7 divided by 2, that's 3.5. Then I rule a line across it up to the new line I drew. Then at the smaller parts, I'll take half inches, and at the other part I'll take 1.5 inches. And this also depends on how busty you are. You can do more if you have more bust. That is, if you have a full bust, you can do more, like let's say 2.5. And if you are not that busty at all, you can just do 1 inch at one side and half inch at the other side. So now I'm trying to locate my upper bust measurement. The upper bust is from your shoulder line to where your bust starts from. You know, our bust line is the highest point of our bust. So where the bust starts from, that is your upper bust line, and it can also be called the chest line. So I'm just trying to rule that out because that is where my off shoulder will be starting from. Then this line over here, I'll just rule it. I'll just continue the slant line to that upper bust line. Then at the right and that side here, you get, I will take 1 to 1/4 inches, but for this I took 1/4 inches. So I will just take it like that. Then I will connect it to the bust line, like to the bust line. That is where I will connect it to, and this is what it will look like after connecting it. Then the next thing we have to do is to know the wideness of our off shoulder. You know, some off shoulder are very off, while some they are not that off. So you have to know what you'll be using. For me, I want to use a wideness of 11 inches. That is 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. Then what I took out as that area, which is 1.25, that is 5.5 plus 1.25, that is 6 3.75. So I'll measure the 6 3/4 over there. Then I will redraw my armhole line. So from that point, I will just redraw my armhole line. I'm trying to explain the neckline again. That is 11 inches divided by 2, 5.5, plus that I took out there, which is 1.25, that's 6 3/4. So that's what I marked here. In case you are using a smaller measurement, let's say 9 inches. So 9 divided by 2 is 4.5 plus whatever that you took out there. So now the next thing I'm doing now is to measure my other measurements. That is my bust measurement divided by 4 plus my sewing allowance and my waist measurement divided by 4. What I took out over there, which is 2 inches, and my sewing allowance, which is 1.5 inches. Then I will connect the line. So after connecting the line, this is what we have. So remember the point we located at that upper bust area. So you just connect it to the armhole line. you connect it to the armhole line. This line does not serve as the main line you will be using. If you are sewing and you notice it is smaller, you can still cut it, but with this measurement it can't be big, it can't be like too wide. The armhole cannot be too wide. It can be smaller, or it will be the perfect size. So if it is smaller, that is good. You just trim it down a little, and if it is your perfect measurement, that's all right. So for this neckline, there are different neckline you can do. So let's assume I want to do a sweetheart neckline for my top, but from the top you saw that it was a straight line, so I'm just assuming that it is a sweetheart neckline. So you just do the curve from that point over there that I drew. So I'm trying to use a black marker to draw out the main pattern that I will be needing. So I'm using marker just to trim it out. As you can see, drawing the full half scale measurement makes the work more easier than just drafting this. So from this you can know where you will navigate to cut your off shoulder. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section, and if you understand up to this level, please give this video a thumbs up and comment a love emoji in the comment section. Thank you. So the next thing to do now is just to cut our pattern, to cut the unwanted parts out of our pattern. So after cutting it out, this is what I have. So the next stage is to draft our back bodies. For these back bodies too, I'll be drafting my full half scale measurement, that is from the shoulder to the waistline. Then I will now take the measurement I need for my off shoulder from it. So now we have to draw a line indicating our zip allowance, except you want to use a corset. So but for my top, I'm using a zipper at this moment. I'm still using a zipper. I may change my mind later, but for this I'm using a zipper. Then I have to give allowance for the zip. Then I'll measure my shoulder. This part will be very fast because it is just the normal way of measuring armhole. That's the normal way of drafting your armhole. So you just go ahead and draft your armhole. So after that, you measure your bust measurement at the bust area, that is the armhole area. Then you add your sewing allowance, which mine is 1.5. At the waist area, your waist measurement divided by 4. Your dart allowance 1 inch, and your sewing allowance 1.5. Then you connect the line. For the waist area, you add your dart, that is 1 inch for the darts. So from my shoulder line, I'll be measuring my upper bust measurement, the one I use for the front. I'm using it as a guide, or you can just go up by 1 inch from your armhole line. Then you rule a line across that area. So this part here will serve as where the neckline, kind of where the off shoulder at the back area we start from. Then the neckline we are using for the front, which was 5.5, you divide it, which was 11, so you divide it by 2, which is 5.5. Then you draw your armhole again, because it will change. Please note that for the front we added our dart allowance at that area because there was a dart there, but for the back there's no dart around the area, so we just use the exact measurement. Now in case you don't want to do a straight line for the back, you can just draw a curve like the way I drew. So I'm trying to locate my dart here. For me to locate the dart at the back area, my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 plus ½ inch, which is 4 inches. Then I will go up, that is go up by 6 inches, just below the bust length. If you've measured your bust length around that area, I didn't measure my bust length, so that's why I'm measuring again. So just below your bust length, that's what you will draw. So that's where the dart will get to, or you can just measure 6 inches from the waistline upward. So this is the back, and I'll just go ahead and cut it out. As you can see, this pattern drafting is straightforward and it is very easy if you understand. If you don't understand, you can go over this video again, and if you don't still understand, please drop a comment in the comment section and I'll reply you as soon as possible to explain better to you. So this is the pattern, and for us to draft the back's waistline, so I pin these front bodies together in this manner. You know they are straight, so I just pin it. Then I added additional 4 inches an extension of 4 inches to the lower part. Then from the side, from my side over here, I measured 1.5, which was my joining allowance. In case you use 1 inches or 2 inches, just measure the sewing allowance you added. Then from that point, I will draw a slant line to the edge over there. So this will give it a Basque effect. In case you don't want it to be a sharp V, you want it to have some curve, so you just use the curvy part of your French curve, just like this. That's why I'm using another marker for this. So this is what it will look like. You see, it is different from the first one, but from the top we are sewing it as a V Basque line. So I'm just going ahead and cut the V Basque line. So this is what it will look like. Then after that, we have to divide the pattern at the area we join them together over there. You know, we'll be adding allowance to the pattern when we want to cut it on the clothes, so we have to separate them. So now I'll just draw the line downward and I will just open it up like that. So after opening it up, this is what we have. Then you go ahead and cut on your pattern paper. So the next video I'll be dropping will be the sewing of this beautiful top. So if you're interested, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching and bye.